Hi everyone, welcome to my fourth lecture, Solving Simple Jumbled Paragraphs. My name is Anupam. Staying in touch, download Unacademy app and install it. Go to Plus, Cat and subscribe. We see 5 offerings. I recommend anything more than a year, 12 months or 24 months. See, the per month cost is very less. Also, if you use Saxena 10 as a discount code, you will get 10% discount. Yep. So let's quickly go to what we're about to do. Yeah. So we are here to solve some jumbled paragraphs. Okay. So they are simple in nature. We don't need a lot of techniques, lot of information, lot of awareness of various kind before we start solving them. They're very simple. Let's solve them. Read the directions. Direction for 1 to 2. A number of sentences are given below, which when properly sequenced form a coherent paragraph. Choose the most logical order of sentences with choices given to construct a coherent paragraph. Now try and read line number 4 here. I have not spoken of books that grip you emotionally, of plays and movies that keep you on the edge of your seat in surprise, or of food that satisfies a ravenous hunger. Ravenous means when you're very, very hungry. Your appetite is you're extremely, appetite is very high. You're very, very hungry. Eat a lot. What do you see here? You see here that books have been mentioned, then plays and movies together have been mentioned on the second. Secondly, and thirdly, and lastly, food has been mentioned. If you go to line number 1, we find that have you ever gone through a book that was so good you kept hugging yourself mentally as you read? A book is mentioned. To come to 3, have you ever seen a play or motion picture that was so charming that you felt sheer delight as you watched? Here, play and movies have been mentioned. Come to 5th, or perhaps we've had a portion of pumpkin pie, light and airy and mind flavored with a flaky, delicious crust that was the last word in gustatory enjoyment. Gustatory enjoyment is enjoyment to the taste, sense of taste. Now we see that all these 3 honorable mentions, if I had placed them that way, all these honorable mentions have been mentioned in line number 4 in the order I discussed: books, movies and play, and then food. So what happens in the world of parajumble, in the world of jumbled paragraphs or paraformation questions? Sentences and ideas appear in the form or in the order, I'm sorry, not in the form, in the order they're discussed somewhere in the passage. So in line number 4, they have been discussed in the order of books, plays and movies together, and then food. Hence they will appear in same order. And when we place it, you will feel that there's a flow. So first line, have you ever gone through a book that was so good you kept hugging yourself mentally as you read? Then comes, have you ever seen a play or motion picture that was so charming that you felt sheer delight as you watched? Comes 5, or perhaps you have had a portion of pumpkin pie, light, airy and mildly flavored with a flaky, delicious crust. That was the last word in gustatory enjoyment. Then comes second. Now, notice the examples I've used, right? So since the examples have sort of are finished, now it talks about the examples. Now notice the examples I've used. Then comes your fourth one. I have not spoken of books that grip you emotionally, of plays and movies that keep you on the edge of your seat in surprise, or a food that satisfied a ravenous hunger. So it is 1, 3, 5, 2, and 4. That is option number D. Now we come to the second question. Let's read line number 2. ITC has learned invaluable lessons from finding creative local solutions on the ground to some of these apparently intractable problems. Intractable means something which cannot be solved, which is very difficult to find a result of or a solution of. If you see, local solutions has been, this particular word has been used in line number 3. Solutions include, no. So in 2 they said local solutions, in 3 they're giving what those solutions are. So naturally 2 and 3 are connected. Solutions include the use of RNS kits in the telephone exchanges, or keeping up VSAT to tide over connectivity problems and using solar power as the backup source of electricity. They're connected. 2 and 3 in that order. Now you look at 4. It says it has also adopted special imaging techniques. Also adopted. That means that something else has been mentioned prior to this, which is in line number 5. It has applied the template approach to manage content. So 2, 3, 5 and 4. Then comes 1, which concludes all of them. All these help hasten, download and optimize the farmer's usage of internet within the available bandwidth. So in this way, we know that 2, 3, 5, 4 and 1. Let's try and solve question number 5 and 6 here. Let's read the directions. Directions for 5 and 6. Arrange the given sentences in the most logical sequence. Let's read line number 1. She was so innovative that she had begun to include the songs composed by Rabindranath Tagore in her repertoire even before the word Rabindra Sangeet was coined. Repertoire is the collection of songs or plays which a particular troupe or performer is supposed to play or they're known to play. Now if you see line number 1, she is a pronoun. That means in the previous line there will be a proper noun connecting. We find in line number 2, Gauhar knew she could gain the goodwill of Bengali Babus by singing as many Bengali songs as she could in her stories. Stories are the evening parties. So 2 and 1 come together. Why not 4? 4 is different. 4 says that Gauhar was not afraid to defy norms. The norms. And in fact, she seldom used tunes that Tagore had set his tunes to. Now this is something which doesn't match to the idea mentioned in 1. So 2 sort of fits in because it's a 2 sort of fits in with 1 because 2 mentions that she knew that it will be helpful if she sings Bengali songs, and then she said that she had begun to include songs of Rabindranath Tagore. Then 4 comes, Gauhar was not afraid to defy the norms, and in fact she seldom used tunes that Tagore had set his songs to. Now there's a contrast coming here. Instead, she rendered them in her own style, giving them a classical twist. So 3 is a natural follower of 4 because it gives a contrast, and it also sorts of give it more information as to when she was not afraid to defy and she seldom used. What did she do? She gave them a classical twist. So it is 2 1 and 4 3. So it is 2 1 4 3. Yeah, option number C. If we look at question number 6, we find that in line number 1 it says at dusk. Dusk means evening. And line number 3 it says afternoon. So whenever we see a time lag, 2 different timestamps mentioned, yesterday and today, Monday and Tuesday, January, February, 2001 and 2004, or there is a clear-cut serial order, or there is a time lag. We can see that afternoon comes before evening, that is dusk. So afternoon will be mentioned earlier. Okay? So we can try and start with afternoon. The afternoon was wild and snowy, and we passed it in the schoolroom. Then comes at dusk I allowed a delay to put away books and work and to run downstairs. Now, if naturally one is somebody goes away, the person will become alone. The speaker will become alone. Left alone, I walked to the window, but nothing was to be seen. Then we see that twilight. Twilight means when there is both little darkness and little light. Twilight and snowflakes together thicken the air and hid every shrub in the lawn. So twilight and snowflake made everything invisible, or the visibility was very poor. Okay, so we see that 3 1 and then 4 and 2 sort of fit in. Yeah, this was just a demo for you how to solve more questions of para-jumbles. We'll solve more complex ones. These were simpler ones, but then just to give you a feel of how does it work, we'll discuss in detail about reading about para-jumbles. Unacademy subscription gives you live classes, interact with educator, live polls and leaderboard, test series and analysis, live doubt clearing sessions. So these all are the benefits which you should avail, and if you will use Saxena code as a referral code, you will get 10% off. Thank you very much.